Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I've got a banger XRP update video for you today. I have so much news in here. You are going to want to watch this entire video because you don't want to miss what I'm about to say and play for you. All right, this is from Mr. Man. CIBC now offers 0% transfers to send money globally. Very interesting. This is one of Ripple's many partners. So here's the article. And I even got something better for you, baby girls. I have CIBC Bank talking directly to you. I think this is the head of CIBC Bank talking about Ripple in Canada. Check this out.
So maybe I'll start with the three core elements of our
Senior Vice President.
Focus on the customer to really client are. Number two is simplifying our bank. So we're looking at challenging processes within CIBC and really trying to make it easier for our clients to do business with us. And then number three is really innovating for the future and being very focused on what's relevant to our customers. So specific to payments, when we survey our customers, what they're telling us is, why can't delivery of payments be as fast as delivery of an email? So one of the benefits of working with Ripple is we can get payments moving around the world in sub 20 seconds. Another benefit would be clients asking us and trying to get real transparency on where is the payment between our bank, perhaps another bank, and finally the beneficiary bank. So really having good transparency where the payment is in the flow. And then lastly is just understanding the fees. So if we send $1,000 to a beneficiary, ensuring the $1,000 is actually received at the other end, and we're not having lots of banking fees taken off in the middle. Sure. So when blockchain was being spoken about 2 to 3 years ago, we actually made an equity investment in a company in California, which was a portfolio holding company of many investments in blockchain companies, one of actually which was Ripple. And that allowed us to get access to application vendors, infrastructures, other entities to really understand blockchain. So step one was getting informed. And then step two is actually utilizing it. And that's where we partnered with Ripple. And we started moving payments between CIBC and First Caribbean, a subsidiary of ours in the Caribbean. And we've also successfully moved payments to NAB in Australia. So now that we've actually proven it, we understand it, the real thing is for us is we want to speed acceleration of Ripple so we can speed acceleration of those benefits to our customers.
Guys, if you are in Canada and you are a competing bank against CIBC, what are your options? What are your options? Your competitor is offering 0% transfer fees to any of their customers. What are you going to have to do to stay relevant and compete against this bank? Well, you might have to join with the Ripple conglomerate, as well as offer maybe payments just as cheap, if not cheaper. I don't know if you can do if not cheaper, but what are you going to do? That's the thing. When you have one or two banks using this technology, it puts every other bank at a disadvantage. So it's just exciting. It's exciting to take a look at that. This is actually an older clip. This is Jimmy Valley and Zach Recker talking, but there's some good stuff in here. I want to play it and give you some commentary.
So the other was the collateralization. Obviously to, take each bucket of value and try to, just collapse that value onto the XRPL. And then we kind of averaged them, and that's what was kicking out this 25,000, 37.5 coin. One of the things that we've been considering, it's
something to know here, guys. When they're talking about these high prices, they're talking about if something were to happen with the Swift banking system, it were to go down, and they had to move all of this value onto, let's say, the XRP ledger, over $250 billion. That's how they get to this really 20 to 30 grand price. It's probably not going to happen like that, guys, but that's what he's talking about here, just to give you that context so you understand, how did he come up with these numbers? Okay.
Since that time is, there's inputs. You mentioned how much of a step change this is going to be. So when we move into the digital world, this blockchain trading world, the number of trading hours
this is good
5x. Okay. And what I mean by that is right now we only trade 252 days a year for about 6.5 hours a day. Right. That turns out to be, it's a little over 1,630 hours a year of actual trading time. When you move into this 24/7 trading time, it's going to be 360 days a year at 24 hours a day, right? So if you're trading 24/7, that becomes like a 8,600 and something.
Before you tell me there's 365 days down in the comments a year, they're taking out Christmas, Thanksgiving, and maybe a couple other holidays that I'm missing. It could be July 4th and everything's closed and some other stuff.
A number of trading hours. So just the trading hours alone are going to 5x. The efficiency, the internal efficiency of each hour, because of the speed at which these transactions move, kind of at the quantum level, is going to be another exponential increase. And then the number of people that are going to come into the banking system, come into the financial system. You hear people talk about the 2 billion, roughly 1.5 billion of people in the world that are unbanked. All those people are going to start coming in to the system, trading mobile minutes or other things of value to them that they're currently outside. They don't have bank accounts. They're not inside the system. So all these types of things are going to drive an increase in the use, the number of transactions, the volume, all that kind of stuff. So those are getting inputted as well as these things I discussed from 2021. We're doing a little bit of what we call generally kind of setting headroom, because you can't just come up with a value and say 2030 about what everything's going to be and then peg it to that number. You got to provide for this expansion in value to increase even beyond that, to have a truly stable kind of a agreement on price. That headroom, what we call it, that kind of additional, is to take into account these things like, meteor mining and new technology and space tourism and things that we haven't started to do yet, but the technology is right there, and we will be doing that in 2040.
I hope I make it to 2040, guys. Anyways, check us out. This is the NASDAQ CEO, Adena Friedman, explains how it's expanding into the next generation trading system, which is blockchain. The NASDAQ. I've told you time and time again on this channel. If you go back to my videos from when I was in Cryptonaires, the Cryptonaires YouTube channel, or talking about this, guys, I've been telling you the tokenized stocks, bonds, derivatives, it's all coming onto ledgers. And what ledger is going to be chosen to hold all of this stuff, that is up to these guys that are in control. But I think of a couple of really good bridge assets. And remember, this is the NASDAQ in the United States. They're not going to use Quant. They're not going to use XDC, right? XDC is out of Singapore. They're probably going to use something me and you both know.
When I became CEO, we really decided to invest heavily in our next generation trading system. So we have our entire trade lifecycle technology as a cloud-ready, cloud-first architecture, and we're now implementing that across our clients. And then we're also implementing it in our own markets. We've moved one of our options markets to the cloud. We are moving our second one at the end of the year. And we continue to partner with AWS to bring our markets into the cloud over the coming years. And then we're now able to deliver markets out in the world, regulated markets in a cloud format, which really is kind of the next generation of how the markets are going to operate. So that's been a great growth driver. Then within our anti-financial crime business, that's a cloud platform. What's great about that is we have 2,500 clients. We're able to bring the data together and look at patterns of behaviors across banks, not just within a bank. And that's where you have to realize that criminals just don't bank in one bank. So we have 2,500 banks where we can look at transaction data and find criminal behaviors through modern AI algorithms and get smarter and smarter and smarter in rooting out those criminals.
It's all coming onto the blockchain. Here's her talking in. President and CEO halts crypto because right now the regulatory framework is challenging.
It's hard to have a discussion about the markets these days without talking about crypto in some way, shape, or form. And you made an announcement today about pulling back in part of crypto. At the same time, you're going forward, for example, with BlackRock applying for an ETF. What does NASDAQ want to do with crypto, and what do you not want to do with crypto?
Yeah, so we do want to help really advance the ecosystem with our technology. We provide trading technology, surveillance technology, and then we also, of course, will work with BlackRock, Valkyrie, and others to bring tradable products onto our exchange so that the potential for there to be a Bitcoin ETF that allows for retail investors to kind of invest in the asset class. Through a very resilient marketplace. I think, though, that as we thought about being an operator of a custodian solution, being a custodian in the U.S. market, we also do like to be able to operate in a pretty well-regulated environment and a well-understood regulatory framework. And right now, that regulatory framework's changing. So we decided to halt those efforts right now and really just focus in on the tech business and on the listings business.
So that's a fascinating point, because I have to ask, if and when the regulations get clarified, federal level, state level, does that mean at some point down the road you might reconsider and go into it more aggressively?
Well, we've actually built all the products. We're now productizing them to be able to sell to other market operators.
They've built all the products already, guys. All they need is clarity inside of the United States, and they are going to go full forward with all of this.
The question is, would we at some point, become a market operator? I think it really depends on what the regulatory framework looks like, and we'll have to see how that goes. I think that'll take a while to shake out.
Guys, once regulation comes in the United States, all of this stuff is going to be big. If you have not seen this clip, guys, I'm going to play it because it is incredible. It's Naveen Gupta. Naveen Gupta is the head, I think, of like Asia markets or it's somewhere on that side of the planet. I can't remember his exact title. I do apologize, but listen to what he says. Ripple is here to make a dent in the universe, not take a small market share. Listen.
The next move roadmap, in your opinion?
Take over the world.
So, no, it's very simple. So I think one thing, if there is one message that you can get in this room, is Ripple is not an ordinary company. We are not here to have a small market share or do X, do Y, and make small amount of money or something to happen. We are here to make a dent in the universe. Either we will change the remittance universe, the way you understand, the way value gets transferred across the world, between people, between institutions, or we will just fade away. So it's almost 0 or 1, and some of it comes from our Silicon Valley arrogance. Some of it comes from, that's the reason 6 years ago we were born with a mission of moving money like information moves today, right? And we are making it possible working with the existing ecosystem. So I think this is a key differentiator about Ripple, and that's the reason we are a monoline company. Every day we get tens of ideas to say, why don't you do security settlement? Why don't you work in trade finance? Why don't you do X, Y, Z? And what we tell them is, just cross-border remittances is $155 trillion problem. We'll solve this first. We'll make a difference to everybody who's present in this room. And once we have made the difference, then only we will look at something else. So we are like, Google is for search, Ripple is for remittances.
Guys, this was years ago, right? And they've already solved the cross-border payments issue. And then now they're going after tokenization of assets, right? Real estate. That's a $328 trillion market.
So I'm super positive that.
Excuse me, Joe Edisco is the CEO of Link2, and he's talking about the settlement and what he thinks is going to happen here.
It's going to have two really positive impacts from an investment standpoint. Number one, it will clear the path for banks to utilize ODL, on-demand liquidity, because there will be no regulatory burden or liability associated with their buying and selling XRP in the course of using ODL, right? What does that mean? It means that there will be significantly more demand for XRP, and the amount of trading and liquidity around XRP will significantly increase. And the second really material benefit is that it will significantly increase the value of the XRP escrow that Ripple holds. So Ripple will benefit, A, because it'll have much greater market adoption for its payment processing product, more customers, more revenues from those customers, but also the intrinsic value of the escrow will increase. Those two things are significant investment drivers for Ripple stock.
Intrinsic value, guys. Check it out. Check it out. All right. This is from Bank of England. Oh, James Roll XRP. The value of cross-border payments is estimated to increase from almost 150 trillion in 2017 to 250 trillion by 2027. I've already 13 minutes, guys, and I have more stuff to go over, so I'm not going to read that article to you, but if you want to take a look, go to James Roll XRP and check that out. Congratulations, our partner, Societe Generale, Forge, for obtaining a regulatory license approval as a digital asset service provider, or a DAS, in the French financial markets. We understand that Medico, Ripple went and bought out a large majority of Medico, and they do not control that company. And then here is the news. Societe Generale Forge obtains first DASP license delivered by French Financial Markets Authority, and Societe Generale is a Ripple partner too, guys. I'm not gonna read this article. I got a little bit more here to get to. First Palau PSP purchase was over the last 3 weeks. So many great lessons. This is them using it for the first time. Remember, this is the currency that Ripple built out for the country of Palau. It's a stable coin.
Scan the QR code.
So he scans it. It takes a little bit of time.
Scanned. So here's Penthouse's wallet here. I'm gonna type in the amount.
All right, he types in the amount, and then it takes a little bit of time to go. Because it is Palau, guys. They don't have 5G. If you're in America or you're in places with 5G and it's so fast, this is not that. Takes a little bit of time. But there you go. Money sent. That's how you start using Ripple all over the world. This is a guy from Coin Bureau. He's talking about, I don't need to play this. He's talking about how Ripple or XRP is consensus. It's not proof of stake. It's not proof of work. And that's what makes it good. This is the clip I want to end on. All right. So Thinking Crypto is interviewing Brad Garlinghouse, and he asks him kind of, can you share some of this information to do with CBDCs and if you're working with some of them? And then look at Brad. He can't answer the question. Check us out.
So there's been mentions and talks like the Fed Payments now, I think, has endorsed Ripple and the technology and the work you guys have been doing. Has there been ongoing conversations with them? Are you supporting them in any way with coming up with a CBDC or whatever it may be?
Look at Brad. Little smile.
Lots of governments around the world.
That's all you get, man. That's all you get.
If I start commenting on specific governments, talking about that, it's like, I'm not, it's a game that's like, look, I'm not going to provide transparency and clarity to kind of all of those pieces. And suffice it to say, again, I'll go back to just.
I wish I had that whole thing. All right.
So there's been.
That's a great clip, guys. And then just to finish this off, Matthew LNY said wholesale central bank digital currency experiments with the Banque de France. July 2023, Unclear of XRP was tested, but several blockchains reset have that value protocol enabled. And so I just want to show you this. This is the Wholesale Central Bank Digital Currencies Experiments. And I do believe Banque de France is a Ripple partner through either different partners or directly. But these are just like cross-border tokenization, right? We talk about tokenization of assets all the time on this channel. This is the Jura project, Mercury project, Venus. Here's Venus as well, HSBC, and then Jura project, Monetary Authority of Singapore, which has been working with Ripple as well. You have SEBA and SWIFT here. So a lot of really cool things happening in crypto, guys. We are super early to the party, but as we move into 2020, into 2023, into 2024, we are going to have global regulation. All right. In 2024, the world is going to have global regulation. What does that do for the 2024-2025 bull market for crypto? You've never had a bull market that has had global regulation before. What is that going to feel like? What is that experience going to be like? Does that mean trillions more that are going to come into the crypto industry or the crypto market? I think so, but we'll have to see how it plays out. I want to say that the next bull market, we're going to see at least maybe a 4 to 5 trillion minimum of money coming in to different projects. Obviously understand that as regulation comes in globally, there might be some cryptos that don't make it, right? And that's why we talk over and over on this channel about the cryptos that will make it, because I'm not here to shill you anything. I'm not here to hype you up. I'm here to show you information and facts, and I'm here to let you make the decision what you want to do with your life. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, guys. If you did, please like, subscribe. Feel free to leave down a comment. If you made it to the end, please let me know. I love you. I respond to every comment. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, guys. Peace.